Hello, before we get started, let us first introduce ourselves. I am Claire Gilroy-Scott.
And I am Katie Dias. We are both solicitors in the employment team at the city law firm Goodman Derrick. We ran a survey last summer to find out how businesses were using social media. We found that 96% of businesses had a presence on at least one social media site, with Twitter, LinkedIn and Facebook being the most popular channels. Our survey results confirmed what we thought. Social media really has become embedded in the workplace.
So to help educate you about the employment law risks associated with social media use, we have created a series of podcasts to help employers. This is part 6, which gives some further ideas of how to protect your business against some of the risks presented by social media. Also check out part 5 on what a good social media policy should contain, and part 7 on monitoring and training.
Probably the most effective way to protect business contacts, whether or not they are social media connections or not, is to put the departing employee on garden leave for the period of their notice. If you don't already have a contractual right to do this, you will, however, need their agreement. As they remain an employee during the period of garden leave, they continue to be bound by the duties of good faith and fidelity. You can also control and restrict the client contact that they have during that period.
After termination, you will want to be able to rely on post-termination restrictions. This includes preventing solicitation of any client with whom the employee has had personal and/or material dealings in, say, the 12 months before termination, for a specific period after termination. These covenants must be reasonable, and they must also be fit for purpose. They should be relevant to the employee's role, seniority, and the scope of their work at the time that the covenants were entered into. This gives you a period in which to reach out to those contacts and build up goodwill and the commercial relationship without the ex-employee.
Clear confidentiality provisions are also advised so that employees understand what types of information obtained during the course of their employment is considered to be confidential. This should go further than lists of clients and contacts. It should cover their contact details, the business information about them, the requirements and pricing agreements, amongst other things. Basically, it should include any information which the employee could use to get a competitive advantage.
Many of you will be aware that one of the features of LinkedIn is that you can update your current role. This notifies connections of the change in employer, and they can even congratulate you on this. Can this notification amount to solicitation of clients? There isn't any specific case law on this, so we need to use the principles of non-social media case law. Broadly speaking, a notification about a departure from one workplace to another is unlikely to be solicitation. However, it is a fine line. If an employee gives details of a new place of work and says I can be contacted at XYZ, there may be more active encouragement in this for the client to get in touch. Taking LinkedIn, if your ex-employee changes his role setting and the profile states that the individual is happy to be contacted for new ventures and business deals, this may well cross the line. Non-dealing restrictive covenants may just become more valuable and justifiable based on the LinkedIn aspect.
LinkedIn is as much, if not more, focused on the individual. Encouraging employees to have a presence on social media does make some employers nervous, particularly about headhunters.
For example, when I work on my LinkedIn profile, I am encouraged to picture myself at another law firm and to add sections to my profile to be discovered for my next career step. This is great for recruiters, but not so great for employers. This is the very nature and purpose of LinkedIn, and the reality is that an employee with good presence and brand is likely to be attractive to competitors. During employment, you should make it clear that the profile is to serve the business and is part of the employee's key duties. After their employment, you need to think about the post-termination restrictions that are in their employment contract. Non-compete restrictions will make it harder for the employee to move to a competitor. Even non-solicitation and non-deal restrictions may put an employee off moving on if they risk losing a valued client as a result of a period of no contact. Non-poaching restrictions will prevent, to some extent, other employees from taking your good workers.
An extreme example, but I once advised an employee whose new employment contract had a blanket ban on her having a LinkedIn account, whether for personal or business reasons. When the employer was questioned about this during the negotiations, the reason for the ban was because of headhunting fears. Thank you for watching, but just before you go, no social media session would be complete without us sharing our social media presence with you. So please do follow us on Twitter @EmplawHeroes and connect with us on LinkedIn. Please also get in touch should you need any employment law assistance. We would be happy to help. And do check out our other podcasts for more information about social media in the workplace. Bye for now.